Alrighty then, so by now everybody knows that ICT is a gigantic con man and a fraud. No trading records that are positive. He's got lots of them that are negative, but some of the ICT students still have some questions around how is it possible that ICT records both directions and things of this sort. So they wanted to see an example of one. So I came over here. I've got 3 examples here for you today that I'm going to show you guys how ICT's fraud works. But let's go ahead and roll that intro, and then you guys are going to see some examples here of ICT calling things both directions, and of course also all these cherry pick trades. We're going to talk about that, how he's using phones and his little Surface Pro over there, and then what he has claimed his big 8-screen PC setup looks like. But you'll notice he's never recording from that one, or the most of them that are coming off are off of his little touchpad on his little Surface Pro. Let's get into that right now.
Michael J. Huddleston, aka ICT, calling himself the inner circle trader, is a well-known con artist and fraud in the trading industry. There are very few trading scams who tell more lies than ICT. There is a well-known saying in the trading industry: how do you know when ICT is lying? When his lips are moving. Never trust anything coming from ICT. You have been warned. In this series we will be showcasing the history of this conman and revealing the fraudulent statements and outlandish lies and absurdities uttered by this fraud over the years in the trading industry. Know your history or you are doomed to repeat it. Get Wrecked Studios proudly presents Fraudulent and Stupid Things ICT Says. Enjoy.
Alrighty then, let's come on into our training window here. And before anybody keeps asking, Vinny, you always talk about ICT over here on this channel. Folks, there's a separate YouTube channel. So go over there to the AlgoBox Pro YouTube channel, and all of our training videos are over here. Separated that out so that it's no longer confusing as to where do we do training, where do we do our live streams, where do we showcase our results, etc. You can go over here to get through our mentorship program and see what real mentorship looks like via Quant Software Edge. All right, so what's up with ICT? So I'm going to give this example. Here's our first example here. One of the things that I do love, everybody says, Vinny, you can't ever say anything nice about ICT. Sure I can. I think ICT has great taste in music. I love this song. Listen to this jam. Oh yeah, he definitely knows how to woo you in with the songs, okay? So this trade right here, let me pause this here real quick. Those of you guys who have studied his systems, I'm going to give this example for those who have come in and asked the question. Look, you've been following ICT for a while, so you know a few of his concepts, and I'm just going to mention a few of them here that can be shown. If you kind of draw enough lines on a chart, one of them is going to hit. These are concepts that people kind of understand. If you draw Fibonacci, for instance, just a Fibonacci, and you see the 618, the 127, the 50, the 78.6, and just draw all these lines on a chart, the markets are going to turn at one of those. And some of these people that overuse Fibonacci, the hardest part about using a Fibonacci set of lines is like, well, which one is going to hit, right? If you just say, well, it's going to hit one of these, well, does that mean that Fibonacci works? I mean, I guess you could. Well, this is what ICT lives on, is that if I tell you enough things that are seen in backtests on charts, if I give you enough narratives, then I can explain anything. And that's how ICT works. In this example here, some students were asking, well, how did you know that this was going to be the location where this went short? And he gives some BS explanation, and I'm going to talk about like why there's confusion around this whole setup here to begin with. Now, you'll notice what you have kind of a dual pattern, what I call an anti-mirror. On the left side here, you'll see the kind of you got the upside down W wiggles here and here. You got what I call 2 crowns. Okay. Well, again, in ICT's concepts, anything kind of comes around like this, you're looking for something called his OTE, right? The optimal trade entry, which is funny enough, again, just another renamed thing of the 618 of a Fibonacci retracement. However, that OTE, you might ask yourself, well, why is it that, this OTE right here, since this was a break of your market structure, we come down and, oh, here's a 618 entry. I should enter into the short side and target sell side liquidity for target 1, and then the 127 down below. If you have followed his OTE, again, I mean, you have followed his OTE 618 retracement. That is what that setup would have been. If it worked that way, he would have called it just like that. He probably labeled this all up once and on one of his other screens or one of his other computers, and this was a perfect OTE set up to the short side. Oh, didn't work out. Oh, delete that video. Okay, that's how part 1 works. Then, oh, we've got it to the long side. So now this side, we've pushed up and out. We've broken through buy side liquidity, coming back down like this. We pull into, again, another 618, and he'll probably come over here and say, oh, there was also an FVG over here to the right, so this would be an opportunity to go long. He would say, here's a long opportunity, OTE plus little FVG. Or if you are a trader and you've been following ICT stuff and you're like, well, why was this not an OTE plus FVG to the long side, ICT? I mean, that's a great question. You actually have a valid question. And then in the end, when after all the other little setups and layouts that he's drawn on his other screens don't work out, well, he's like, well, this one might be, okay, here, I got a FEG right here, market structure shift, okay, then we go right here, and then I'll take off my partial here, and then, sell side liquidity down here, so this one will be a work. Again, telling you enough things, then both directions work. Okay, this is a scenario where either side could work. If it went up to the long side, he'll tell you this was an OTE, and he's probably recording that on another computer or on another screen on his 8-screen setup or on his laptop, or now he's using his phone even on Twitter. Like, I'm going to show you those here in just a moment. But if you're wondering, like me, I'm going to play this jam. This is such a great jam. Put it in the background here while we're running. And you're wondering, like, how is it that, all of a sudden he knows that this is going to go to the short side, even though this would be an OTE to the long side if it worked out the other way, right? This is his classic way to claim both sides. But then, he's got this recording, he throws a little music on it, lulls you into sleep so that you're not paying attention to all of the mysteries on it. And another thing, have you ever noticed why his tags are way over here to the left? Again, this is so much easier to come back and edit later. Like, who trades like this where the lines come all the way across like this? This is classic for fakers to come back and fake all this out. We've talked about this extensively before. This is classic how these scammers work. ICT is just another scammer, folks. There's nothing more any different than him. If he was legit and he was a 30-year veteran of the markets, he would have at least a 1-year track record that he could show you. He doesn't. He won't. He can't win. He's never won any trading competition. I mean, I haven't traded as long as he has, as he claims he has. And yet I've won 4 trading competitions. So how do you legitimize this? This is basically how it works. So here is one of those. This ends up going, great song, and just love this song. By the way, ICT, I'm sure you're listening to this later. Thank you for this wonderful song and turning me on to the song. Love it. I've been jamming out to it recently. But here is just one of those where, of course it worked out just perfectly on that one. And it's not, you're going to ignore the original OTE. You're going to ignore the second OTE, and it was an FVG to the short side, so hey, I can explain it. See, my concepts work. I mean, this is classic how these operations work. Again, there are strategies out there, especially in 45-degree angle markets. Okay, you notice I always tell you guys too, if you've been paying attention on his stuff, if you'll notice that all of his setups that are going to work are at a 45-degree angle. Okay, the ones that are, yes, any pullback scenario, you can talk to any pullback trader. When the markets are trending, it's quite easy to make money. It's like, okay, if it just keeps going, or we just keep making money every time we just break a high. Breakout traders make money, pullback traders make money, people who buy at moving averages make money. The simplest of strategies. So you can't be like, well, do they never work? No, of course, everything works at some point. The problem is being able to pick and choose. He has no edge in his strategy, folks. It's just a 50-50 flip of the coin with ICT. So be careful that if you're wondering why you're failing as an ICT student, it is because he's a fraud, and there's no specific way and there's no edge into his systems for shifting markets. Only 45-degree angle markets that are going to work with him. And this is, again, you would actually be better if you I always use the EMA test, okay, the extended moving average. If you were to put a moving average on your charts, and if that beats your current strategy, then you suck. Now you might say, oh, well, you're drawing it right where this is. Well, this is exactly what would happen. This is just a moving average crossover. If you had 2 moving averages, one longer term and one shorter term, you are going to hit those. You would be better to just hit the moving averages and not worry about trying to look to the left and find, there's a little gap in between this. That does not matter. All it is coming back to a moving average. You would have made more money adding to the position here and continuing on. Again, when the markets are on the move, it's quite easy to get pullback entries, etc. But what you want is actually order flow events, and that's a whole other thing if you're looking at our system. But again, mainly is, how can these be called both directions? This is what ICT does. Let's go to our next example here. All right, now some other little trickeries. You're always going to see ICT's always got an explanation for everything. Now, I don't understand why a lot of these ICT students continue to just believe everything he says. It's like, well, if ICT said it, then it must be true. Here's another one, example like, did you notice I had to toggle off and then I toggle them on. Yes, this is the whole thing. ICT is always toggling on, toggling off stuff. Nothing is consistent in what he's doing. You're going to see another screen at another point, and you're wondering why it is that all this is happening. It's because there's multiple screens being recorded. So all you need to know is that you're always going to hear an excuse from ICT of, anytime you find the discrepancy, he's going to have some weird excuse for it. Again, the guy can't just go out there and do a track record like a normal person would. He talks about the Robins all the time. He's entered into it 4 times. He's failed the Robins 4 times. So I don't know why he's acting like he's going to be the champ of the Robins. He says he can beat the Robins in a week, but it's all talk. Again, we keep telling him, go out there, go do the Robins, get on the leaderboard. He keeps telling me to go out there and get on the leaderboard. I already explained the Robins is a cheatable contest. It's not a legit contest to begin with. If he wants to do another trading competition with me, I already said, any other competition, you want to come with me, you can go. Ninja Trader also cannot connect to the Robins. So ICT, again, stop trying to tell me to go into a competition that that my system can't connect to. Be a man, come over here and compete like a real man. Okay, another example here, 45-degree angle markets. What did I tell you before, right? Markets are moving at a 45-degree angle. Anything works. Again, you can do a moving average. Here's my moving average test. If a moving average beats your strategy, then your strategy sucks. At the end of the day, it's just a moving average entry. And again, he also is going to be switching between time frames. It's always, let me zoom down to the time frame that it's working perfectly on. This is the classic deal. How do you know which one is in play? Well, we have a strategy for that. He has no strategy for that. He just tells you to keep flipping through them until you see one that works. And of course, for him, luckily for him, analysis is not execution, right? And execution is greater than analysis. All he does is analyze, looks at things in hindsight, uses his 10-minute delayed data feeds and showing you guys horse manure. You guys need to stop believing it. Let's go to a better example here in just a moment where he literally calls a level and then, we're just going to ignore the ones that don't work. Here we go. All right, so this lovely gem comes from one of our community posts. We were kind of laughing about how ICT claims that his algorithm, the guy cannot code. He's never coded before, folks. I don't know why you guys are still believing this. From a guy who's literally coded for more than 2.5 decades now. This guy's never coded. He doesn't know how to code. He can't even work his website properly. There's no code. I don't know why he's saying, my algorithm continues to sweep the 36th level as I explained a few days ago. Really? Okay, this is hallucinations of grandeur right here. But as we were talking about this, so this wasn't me posing. Some of our own guys be like, seriously, this guy's nuts. But somebody down in the comments wanted to remind us. He said, Vinny, can you please remind him? Please remind everyone that on the same night he tweeted that, he also tweeted GBP RIP. His tweet marked a low in GBP, and it's been up every day since. Obviously, he just reminds everyone of the call that worked perfectly. Yes, this is, again, another one of those scenarios like, we're gonna beat on the one that worked, but let's go look at some of those that didn't. Let's go to that. All right, so we like to keep track of these things as I am the market historian. And here we go. Now ICT is claiming that he made 107% in 4 days. Funny enough, he didn't make any notion about me making more than 107% in a single day on my first day of the trading competition against Ross Cameron. We're trading, again, talking in percentages, never talking about real numbers. And here we are on his ICT paper trading. Again, I don't know, and this is on a phone. Again, we're back to phone trading one day, Surface Pro laptop, and then his 8-screen setup on another day. There's always an excuse. Let's go into another really crazy trade setup. Here we go. All right, so this one's a good example of how he manipulates his followers. Again, all of them very new, all of them under the age of 25, a lot of them out of South Africa and Nigeria. Again, he's targeting the people who need help the most. They don't need lies, they need help, but ICT targets them. And this type of stuff he does. 38.96, no excusey. All right, so we're making that call, and then what do we see later? Swing on the basis of suspect high, meaning you would likely to run. Again, basically completely wrong from the days before. Okay, now mind you, this is not the same tweet. This is just what he posted before. He's like, oh yeah, it's looking juicy right back here. And does it go there? No. Oh, we rip up to the wrong stuff. So he's completely wrong. Do you see any man, I was totally wrong on that? And that kind of, no, it's not. He will only tout up the things that are winners. This is how ICT works, but this is one where he clearly had called this completely wrong. Doesn't give any, doesn't talk about it, doesn't have a, oh, well, it's because X, Y, or Z. There's no explanation for it. Again, another one of those, and I'll give you that. Did you notice that it looks like here we come up, and then, oh, we got the other side. Again, which one is it? This is the one, this is classic scenario where, again, look, oh, this is an OTE to the long side, right? Just like that other play from before. Why wasn't it like, oh, this looks juicy? Yes, just like this. Like, but pause the video right here for a minute. All you little ICT students that always do the, oh, I'm gonna pause the video. Here's your pause the video moment. Look at this one. Okay, and then look at that other one that I did the mirror play on from before. Okay, they're not identical, but I'm telling you that same one that he comes up here and goes, oh, this is yeah, we're gonna FVG all the way down to the other side, and this time, oh, see, got it right. It's an OTE to the long side, swing suspect high. Yeah. Anyway, again, calling it both directions, folks. You need to understand, you're wasting your time with ICT. He also drones on and on. The whole point is this time sunk theory. He's keeping you stuck under his thumb with the time sunk theory. He gets paid via YouTube and flipping cars. This guy cannot trade. That's why there's no track records anywhere. That's why you can't find any track records on the guy. This is the ICT. Let's look at another one. All right, so we got this one. What did your mentor do today? Yeah, you gotta have the boisterous. Look at me, I'm the best. Again, this only caters to like the low IQ, young individuals with this mentality. It's a 50-year-old guy who's it's like a little tiny boy brat stuck in a fat man's body. Is what I think about when I see ICT or hear him talk. So here's again classic, like, oh, this time it was an OTE, right? Oh, we got the OTE to the long side. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You mean this isn't the Big Short down to the bottom? Anyway, every time it's a call one side or the other, and if it works afterwards, great. He's going to send you guys a video. He's going to put a nice little jingle on it. Again, love that song Entropy. So thanks ICT for turning me on to that one. I'm going to address this too. So the same ICT student who came and asked me about how is he calling in both directions also asked, like, why does ICT look different in all of his photos? Like every photo, every video looks different. Well, everything from him using the Instagram filters, the iPhone filters on his face, to literally over the years has gotten plastic surgery done. Now, particularly once we sent private investigators out to him, he went out so far as to get his entire jawline replaced so that he wouldn't look like this fat Jabba the Hutt face that he used to have. He went and got a jawline installed. Now, people are like, well, no, he said it was a motorcycle incident. Well, folks, again, I said it before, what he said versus what he did. Now, if you also think, those of you guys who remember him saying that it was, oh, God, I had to finally get my jaw fixed from an old motorcycle incident, that he was like 9 years prior. Now, a guy who has millions, okay, supposedly, that the guy who's worth $750 million, as he claimed, is going to wait 9 years to take care of a motorcycle accident. Look, folks, if you're still believing this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. But all of a sudden, he starts posting more of himself after he goes and gets the jawline installation. Again, he had to have the whole wired jaw thing shut. It's all wired shut. Got the same thing as Zac Efron, the jaw installation stuff. That is what he did. And the hair plug stuff. So everybody's like, oh, look, he's showing Vinny, he's got hair. Well, yes. He's like, oh, see, no hair plugs. That's exactly what you're showing. It's hilarious. You guys that still believe this stuff. Again, I don't really care. I don't care what the guy looks like, but you guys got to stop believing the man. The man lies 24/7. That's all he does. He'll be responsible to it for the Lord. Again, I'm just out here to tell you guys the truth and to get you to realize, like, honestly, I just feel for you. If you're wasting your time with ICT, I don't care if you come and join us or not. I really don't. But what I do care is that for the intelligent people, if it was me and I came out here and I keep seeing this ICT splashed everywhere, and then I don't really pay attention to the people posting it. It's usually the most low IQ people in the world. If you do a little bit of homework, you would find out that every single one of them is, go ask them, like, where do they live? You're like, they're living with their mom, right? You never see their faces. And then you hear their voice and it's like, oh, it's a kid. Every single one of these, it's promoting ICT. Young and dumb. No offense to them, but it is what it is. So facts, just be careful. I would avoid this whole thing. Again, avoiding competitions, and especially his own ones all the time, and avoiding trading. Now, ICT is always talking big. Let's talk about a couple things with the Robins still. We just did a video. You want to go watch the previous video on exposing the Robins, how the Robins is easily able to cheat, how ICT plans to cheat in the Robins. I've already showed you guys that. But again, why do you think he talks so big and all this stuff? Oh, I'm not going to trade more than one contract in the Robins. Yeah, on 5 accounts. But even if he wants to talk about this, so let's talk about why he's underdogging himself. I call this underdogging. So number one, he tells you, go out there, get into the Robins, get into first place, and then I'll go out there and I'll beat you, right? Well, the Robins contest is a 1-year competition. If it takes you, again, Robins does not show results until the 3rd or 4th month into the competition. So if you're starting in January, you got 4 months through, so you're not going to see this stuff till April. So from April through the end of the year to December, that's I gave you a 4-month head start is basically what he's saying. So I gave you a 4-month head start, because what happens is, even if you beat him, he knows he's got a backup to save his ass, to make himself not look like, oh, he got stomped again. He's going to blow out his account because he's never gone anywhere with it. But nobody's dumb enough to get into this competition. The only people who are still thinking it's like not dumb are dumb people, the people who follow ICT. No offense, but literally every single person in ICT, you'll notice they are all very sub IQ. It's what it is. So I gave you a 4-month head start. I guess I gave you too much of a head start. Or as soon as you stomp him, right, in the competition, because it's like he's giving you a head start, but for what? That's insulting. It's so stupid. Like, of course I'm going to beat you. It's so stupid. You give me a 4-month head start. Obviously I beat your ass. Like, no big deal. So again, he gets to be like, oh, no big deal. No, it is a big deal. The fact that you can't trade, you're not the best. You're not good. You're not even profitable. Much less being the best. All right. But one of the things I want to talk about, then this one contract thing. So let's talk about the one contract deal. People are going, well, just get in. What are you scared of? He's only going to go one contract. That's the whole point, folks. So that when I beat him, he'll be like, well, I was only trading one contract. I wasn't trying to really show off. I wasn't trying to really. He always says this. He's always trying to underdog himself, to be like, oh, it's because I'm not even going to bring my good strategy. I'm going to bring my low strategy for you. I'm just going to do FVG, or I'm just going to do OTE, or whatever his stuff is, folks. All of these are excuses, and it's all big talk. And if you are one of these people buying into it, I feel sorry for you. But I'm going to tell you to your face, you're stupid. Wake up. I'm out. Have a nice weekend.